So what happened to Corey? There's the question that I keep getting in my messages in YouTube. What happened to you? Did your medication work? Were you able to control your weight? What happened? Why did you stop? My last video was not very good. I was just give up and I said, you know what? So sad. This is not working. This is not for me. But like I said, I tried to go back to my meds in order to go ahead and lose the weight. Unfortunately, it was giving me the worst trip ever. It was so difficult just to go ahead and have a hold of what was happening. So every side effect on the book, I was feeling. So what happened to me? I stopped. No more. I couldn't handle that. So I said, you know what? I need to try something different. I need to find a way that I can go ahead and control my weight. I don't want to be big anymore. What happened? Well, I try to find a balance where I could have my cake and eat it too. It was so difficult. The first thing I did it was going to the gym. I felt that I was amazing and I was able to kind of do it. At the beginning, there was no problem. It worked perfectly. The first couple of weeks, I lost weight. And it was very exciting. The volume was the same, but I still lost weight. And it was very encouraging. So I kept on going to the gym. And one of the things that I started dieting at the same time I was going to the gym. And what happens when you start dieting and going to the gym? Well, it starts getting boring. And I'm not saying it's bad to go to the gym. I'm not saying dieting is bad. It's just that you're supposed to find a balance where you can indulge of yourself and find, because remember, I'm fat. This is what makes me happy. Food makes me happy. Food makes me the giggles. This is what defines who I am sometimes. I like to eat food. So when you take that away from me, which is I can only eat certain stuff and I can only, and I'm constantly working, it's just a plain disaster. You're setting up yourself for failure. And that, it sounds good. You have a good balance. It's a balanced diet and a balance of, working out. But it was just exhausting. I would just get out of work. I go straight to the gym. I would come back. I'll have a really light dinner. And by 10, I was exhausted and I was hungry. One of the things that we really don't realize is that when we work out, we make our appetites bigger. We get more appetite. And getting a diet and trying to work out, it was not really working out for me. So it was very difficult. I was trying so hard and I got to some point where I plateaued and I was starving myself in a way where I wasn't really starving myself, but I was not having what I liked. And I was working out and it went through my head. What is the purpose of this? I work out so much and I cannot have what I want. So what is the purpose of this? So it got to that point where I just give up. I just give up. I was just, this is not worth it. I'm not happy. This dieting thing and working out, I'm so always tired. And, because a lot of people say, it's like, I'm not tired. I have more energy. Oh, no, not for me. I didn't have energy. But the problem was, my dieting. My dieting was the proper one to be working out. And I was not eating food that I liked. So it was very difficult to keep up with it. So what happened? I stopped. And I failed again. And it feels bad. It feels embarrassing to be a failure and not be able to control your weight anymore. At this point, I can't even express the frustration. I was just so disappointed. I stopped going to the gym. I went back to my old ways. I started eating whatever I wanted. But I was able to control my weight. I was still down, not that bad. So I was like, okay, I'm fine. So I was very happy in that point. And unfortunately, what happened? Well, I can't even start. We were getting ready to go on vacation, and boom, coronavirus hit, COVID-19. So this is the beginning of the bad part of this. I started getting frustrated and I started getting bored. I do not snack. I do not crave stuff. Unfortunately, I started snacking and craving stuff, especially sweets. I really don't like sweets, but for some reason I was just bored. So I started snacking. I started looking for stuff. I would work during the day, then the afternoon. I had the whole day was free. So what would I do? What would I start doing? Well, I would just start, jump in the pool. I couldn't go anywhere else, so I would just jump in the pool. I would get bored in the pool, get out, look for something to eat, and have a drink or two. From a drink or two, it went to every day we would, buy some drinks, go to the pool, watch some TV from the pool, then get out. I was hungry. I would order because, of course, we wanted to support our local business, so we would always order out. We were no longer cooking. We were not trying to keep ourselves safe. We were just trying to survive the virus and try to survive, the boredom in our house. It's difficult. It is difficult to explain because, somebody that is normal and doesn't have a problem with their weight will say, it's like, why it's so difficult? You just don't eat this stuff. Well, it is very difficult for us. This is an addiction. I want food. I'm hungry. There's some food that I prefer. So for me, it was so difficult just to keep up. What happened? I started having gains, and it was not the good part of the gain. I started gaining weight, and I couldn't control it. I couldn't stop it. And the one thing that I noticed, I was no longer having the normal plate. I'll eat everything on my plate and asking for more and more and more. And at this point, I realized that I had lost control of myself. I couldn't even continue. I was so disappointed. I realized it when it was October already, and it was my birthday. They took some of my pictures, and I saw myself, and I was speechless. I was like, "What?" That's how I look. It is very embarrassing, especially talking about it. But it's more embarrassing when you see it yourself. I was so disappointed. I didn't like what I saw, and I said, "I need to look for help." And I didn't know what to do. At this point, I had to start looking for choices. I wanted to go to the gym. I said, maybe I can go back. Well, that choice was out of the way. I couldn't go to the gym. The gym was closed. And I was not really ready to go to the gym. I was disappointed. The gym didn't work for me. What else happened to me? What can I diet? I can diet. I tried. Let's go. I'm ready to do keto. So I started working on my keto. Did it work? At first, but you can only be so long on keto before you start getting bored and you want to try something new or something old that you want some comfort food. And what happens? You're no longer on ketosis and you stop losing weight. And you start getting your carbs and you start going in and getting your weight back. One other thing that I couldn't handle, it was so bored. I was bored at home, and well, what happened? I would just jump into the pool and grab a beer, and another one, and another one. I didn't have an alcohol problem, but I enjoyed my beer. One or two, sometimes I wouldn't, but I would drink beer, and beer's not really good for you. What happened? Fat. Got fat. I got bigger, and this is just going crazy. It's like, what other options do I have? What can I do? And then it was like such a addictive cycle where I was sad because I was fat, and because I was fat I was sad, and then because I was sad I would eat more, and because I would eat more I would get fatter, and because I was fatter I would be more sad, so I would eat more because I was sad. So it was just a vicious cycle, and it was terrible. And it got to the point where I was just like, this is it. I can't handle this anymore. I need help. I really didn't know what to do. There were so many choices where, the first thing I saw online was like, go get lipo. You know, it's like, well, yeah, what's the whole point? If you get lipo, you'll gain the weight back because you haven't changed your ways of eating. And it was very difficult. I didn't know what to do. So at this same time, I was having problems with acid reflux. So I went to the doctor and I asked the doctor, I'm having trouble with acid reflux. It hurts a lot. I can handle it. I even confused it with a heart attack. It was that severe. So they sent me to this doctor. I went with the doctor. He weighed me. He saw my acid reflux. He saw everything. And he goes, you are overweight and you need to control your weight. And I have to do some exams for you. So I believe that you might have a hernia, and that is what is giving you your acid reflux. So he asked me if I want to do some tests and an endoscopy. I said yes. This was in December already, actually December 21st. I went in. He tells me, so Corey, you do have a hernia. This might be the reason why you're never full and you keep on eating. So at that moment, I was like, oh my God, thank you. Finally, there's a reason why I'm fat. It's not because I'm only, I'm not disciplined. But then his next stage was, but that's not the reason why you're fat. That's not the reason why you're overweight. The reason why you're overweight is because you overeat. And you got a hernia because you overate so much, your stomach even stretch up your esophagus. I can't pronounce it. Esophagus. And so you now have a hernia. So we need to fix it. At that moment, he gave me that option, and I was kind of scared. I've never had surgery before, so I said, well, let's go. I need to do it. So when we went ahead and I said, let's go ahead and do surgery, I asked him, because I noticed that he does gastric bypass. And I asked him, am I a good candidate for a gastric bypass? And that's one of the options that he gave me. He goes, well, you are a good candidate. You do have a weight, which was 299. I had a BMI of 40%. So he told me, you are a good candidate. You don't have to lose much weight in order to do the surgery. So I would advise you to do the surgery. My insurance will not cover my surgery for the gastric bypass. So I would have to pay it out of pocket. So at the end, I went ahead, I spoke about it. I made the decision that I will go ahead and do a gastric bypass. My height is 5'11". I was weighing 292 pounds. I know I wouldn't go down, so I needed help. So this was my last choice. My last choice to go ahead and come back from that vicious cycle. Something that was going to help me out. So in January the 29th, I went in to the hospital for my gastric bypass. And at this moment, I'm ready to start talking, and I'm back. So thank you so much for listening to me. I will go ahead and come back in my next video. I will give you more information on my result in my surgery. Thank you for listening, and see you guys soon. Take care. Of course, I was not going to leave you hanging just wondering how I looked. This was me on New Year's Eve. This was the last picture I had taken before the surgery. So, yes, this was me. I was at 292 pounds. Stay tuned so you can see the progress. Thank you.